catch it early. Help us teach kids about cancer symptoms through Ultimate Frisbee clinics. Join us and speak up.
The World Flying Disc Federation is proud to present live coverage of the 2016 World Ultimate and Guts Championships. Good morning and welcome to London for day 3 of competition. Power pools begin right now. Evan Lepler alongside Brian Jones, and we are set for the top seed in the mixed division. Team Canada, the champions in Sakai in 2012, taking on the Czech Republic. That was 1 point away from going undefeated in their pool. Brian, Czech Republic lost to France on Universe, but let's talk about Team Canada first and foremost. The #1 seed, they have not dominated so far, but they think they can play themselves into their peak this tournament.
A team from Canada, primarily composed of the club team, Team Fisher-Price. They have a couple stars, including a young one, 19-year-old Cole Keffer, who actually is a member of the national junior rugby team in Canada. And 8 months out of the year, he's stuck training rugby, but in the summer, he's out here making fireworks. He was a star of the show, along with Darren Wu in the U19 Worlds, getting the gold as the first pole goes off.
That'll be a fun guy to watch. Canada in the black and red, Czech Republic mixed in the white. And the disc immediately centered to one of the leaders of this Czech Republic team. That is Tomáš Veselý. Czech Republic lost by 1 to France. They were pulling on Universe, rather they were receiving on Universe, but could not put it away in the swampy conditions of Monday morning here in London. It is a glorious day on Tuesday, and already Canada looking for a break, and that disc falls incomplete, but a call will stop the action.
Right away, Czech Republic comes out in a side stack, and they get some flow early on. They're used to dominating with their athletes, especially their tall women in this game. Canada taking advantage of the miscue, going back the other way.
And a shot to the end zone connects. Alexa Kovacs with the game's first score, and it's 1-0 on an early break for Canada.
Unfortunate turnover early for the Czech Republic. They're looking to get off to a hot start, and we talked before the game with some of the players. They want to stick to the system. They don't have a specific game plan going forward other than to run their offense. This is a team with a lot of chemistry that came together last year at the European Championships and have played together throughout the rest of the last year and a half. Here they also, before this tournament, they actually went to a tournament in Frankfurt and then over to Windmill Windup where they got 4th. So we take a look here at the Czech Republic roster. Petr Kotosovic, the 38-year-old, one of the main leaders here, and a big difference here in age gap between the men and women on the team. The average age well over 30 for the men, with one young player at 22 years old, and the women much younger, but fitting in well with a lot of team chemistry early on.
Well, they certainly felt they let one slip away against France yesterday morning. Second chance on offense. Czech Republic has been stung by the injury bug. 3 of their rotation players on the men's side of the disc are out today, including Jan Vavrusha, who we were chatting with before the game. And so far, the Canadian defensive pressure seems to be getting to the Czech Republic.
It's easy to look at these as pure throwaways and mistakes, but the Czech Republic has not faced a team of this caliber yet.
Big bid, but unsuccessful. And looking to the end zone, 2 goals and 2 defensive points for Alexa Kovacs, a dominant 2-0 start for Canada.
They have the physicality of the defense to go ahead and put on pressure continuously throughout this game, and it's going to make throws tougher for the Czech Republic. As for the Canadian offense on the turn,
is that any loud?
They've made it look easy so far.
Is that any good? Is this
quick passes, moving the disc side to side, and finding the open receiver anywhere they are.
Jordan Marin with the assist. Team Canada's roster with some very familiar names from World Championships past.
You start with the Nordens, Justin and Jeremy, who have been mainstays for many years now in Canada, and also sometimes Justin actually playing in San Jose in the U.S. And then you add in a couple of surprise names. Jon Snow, actually legendary, not just because of Game of Thrones, but because he was the main reason why the Ottawa Phoenix were able to take on the Buzz Bullets at World Clubs in 2014 in Lecco. So he's an addition to this team outside of Team Fisher-Price and a couple of other stars. Yolan Cabot out of Montreal. He's a guy I love to watch. Just great energy up and down the field.
Coached by Megan O'Brien, who was a little late getting to Worlds because of an ultimate wedding. An old Furious George player apparently got married this past weekend irresponsibly during the World Championships.
You have to know better than that. There's just no safe time to have a wedding if you're an ultimate player.
It is a jam-packed schedule, 365 days of the year. So the Czech Republic calling a timeout as Canada has thrown a heavy haymaker at the start. Canada went 2-0 in Pool A in the mixed division. A three-team pool. The Canadians beat Austria 15-10 and then took down Spain 15-5. And I'm not sure if it would clarify as surprising or not, but Spain ended up beating Austria 13-11 to take second in that pool. Meanwhile, this Czech Republic team coming out of Pool H in the mixed division, defeating Korea and Mexico, but falling to France 15-14.
Czech looking to be aggressive from the start, setting a lot of cutters deep, and this is a team that really prides themselves on their energetic, hard cutting in the lane.
Looking long, shooting it for Frankie Fensel. He can't get there. From the sidelines, you can hear the Canadians yelling, "Move the disc, punish the Czech offensive line," which has clearly been fatigued.
Here's a name, Aaron Liu starts off with the disc possession, getting it moving. He's a player from Vancouver as the disc goes deep.
Antoine Lepayan shooting it long. Carly Sakai had it deflected away. Radush Hadlesheva knocks it away for the Czech Republic.
Just a few years ago, Aaron Liu was considered a premier handler defender in the world. He was someone who could really take out the pivot point of the other team's offense. Now he's a little bit in space downfield.
Vesely tosses to Andre Novak. Forward for Fensel, and now shooting it. Nice toss. And a Czech Republic goal. Lucia Shonova with the score. And that's an important stabilizing strike for the team in white.
You love it when a team stays aggressive. As a coach, you have to stay with your game plan. Just because your first couple throws didn't work out, if your strength is hucking the disc, go ahead and keep hucking the disc. In the Czech Republic, using their women well right now, they have a height advantage going deep right there, and the perfect throw out to space is going to do it as we take a look here on the replay. Simple undercut, and from there, they haven't worked so far, but this one, ripping the backhand deep, and that's perfect. Wide open hands, that's exactly how you want the offense to look.
The goal for Lucia Shonova.
Shonova has been making plays, and we saw that yesterday in that game as we were able to sit and relax a little bit in the opening rounds and watch a barn burner in the nice London summer rain.
Yeah. Sit and relax in the rain.
Don't mind it as long as it's a little bit cool out here. I can take it. Right now, though, we're in a beautiful day, and the sun's going to beat down on us. Evan, I know you already made sure you're wearing your sunscreen.
It was imperative. It was absolutely imperative. These are two teams now in Pool J, which is the top power pool. And the Canadian offense just slicing through the Czech Republic defense to make it 3-1.
Keelan Way with the assist.
Was there any defense there at all? It didn't look like it.
That's tough to come out here. The Czech Republic has not faced an offense of this caliber yet at the tournament, and this was a problem because the Canadians only had one training camp, only 1 weekend in Vancouver where they were able to get reps together. And a lot of them played together in Team Fisher-Price, but there's a lot of firepower from Ottawa. Keelan Way is one of those guys out of Phoenix. And when your offense is running smoothly, The defense is slightly out of position. This possession just looks like a knife going through butter. Brendan Wong starts it off, and from there, there's a lot of space. Quick flip, gets it away, and with no hesitation whatsoever, puts it to the end zone.
And you mentioned Team Fisher-Price several times. This is a nice combination of the western half of Canada and the eastern half of Canada. You mentioned Keelan Way from Ottawa, Yolande Cabot, Antoine Lepagnon from the Montreal area, and really fitting in well. Obviously, the Norden brothers of dual citizenship. One went to Whitman College in Walla Walla, Washington. The other, Carleton College in Minnesota. Those two have certainly made impacts internationally, and a hand block on the mark for Canada. It was Cam Burden who got a piece of the disc, and then the lefty backhand to the end zone. The third goal for Alexa Kovacs. Jeremy Norden with the assist. And you know, anyone who's played Ultimate has played against a good team that started off hot, and it really feels like you're just tumbling down a hill and you can't stop.
Right now for the Czech Republic, they're in over their heads a little bit in these opening moments. The Canadians played a little bit sloppy. We were a little surprised by how close the scores were in the last couple of games for a top-seeded team like themselves. Here, off to a fast start, bringing the defense, and it's just something unexpected right off the turn, right off the pole, and a quick hand block, getting a piece of it. The thrower's just not looking for that right away, and that's kind of a shock to the system as Norden's going to be able to quickly find the open receiver. Kovacs, like you said, third goal of the day.
Canada, the #1 seed heading into this event, largely a byproduct of their win 4 years ago in Sakai. Most people have considered Team USA the favorites. Hopefully we get to see USA Canada in the mixed division. I'm not asking you to handicap that matchup, but how do you think the two teams compare heading into the tournament?
I think the USA is going to be the favorite, and the reason why you might be asking, well, if USA was the favorite, why aren't they the top seed? And this is the first year Team USA will actually send a team comprised of not the team that won their mixed division, but out of a selection tryout process, which concluded with the West Coast and East Coast tryouts. The Canadians have had the upper hand. They're certainly talented. And in this game, it's going to be about who has the chemistry. If the Canadian offense can look like this, they're going to do fine.
The Huck looking for Novak. Lepagnon is there, and it's Novak who skies for the score.
When things are not going your way, you need to still stick to your game plan. And for the Czech Republic, that's been about their Hucks. We talked about the last one, which was a perfect pass. And this one, not so great hanging, but when you have the height of Novak out there in space, he's going to have to make a big play against a great team, and that's exactly what he does. You know, calming the nerves for this Czech Republic squad is incredibly important. Getting that confidence after a couple of great plays. We take a look here.
It's Andre Novak with the big backhand and David Novak with the catch. They're not related. Novak, a very popular name in the Czech Republic, but the Novak connection unites. And Lepagnon is no slouch of a deep defender. He went up to the peak, and Novak just beat him there.
Novak took inside position. It's so hard as a defender, even if you are the taller person and can get there early, it's almost an impossible place to be. Would have been a spectacular D.
So Canada on offense. Jennifer Kwok underneath. Up the line for Keelan Way.
Keelan Way has a lot of real estate to deal with.
Oh, a daring throw, high degree of difficulty, and he made it look easy to Mark Leduc.
Keelan Way is spectacular with his ability to throw the disc. As someone who's had to coach against him several times, he's somebody that was going to throw it, and that's the game plan for Keelan. You know it's going up even with just an ounce of separation. Normally that's going to be pretty good defense, and that's a shot to the back corner. That's like the mid-range jumper here of Ultimate. That little shot that's 20 to 30 yards, you have to put it perfectly to space. You don't have much room. Keelan Way delivered it spectacularly, and even before that, the amount of space he had to deal with, that's part of the game plan if you want to defend Way. You cannot give him time and space because he's going to get the disc and he's going to burn you with it. So we take a look here in the replay once again.
Keelan Way is an excellent player, but he plays with a confidence, almost like he thinks he's unstoppable out there. And while it can bite him occasionally on plays like this, he can look like a superstar.
Yeah, Team Canada, when you go forward into these tough matches, you want Keelan playing at his best. There's something about that, a mental toughness, a confidence, like you said, Evan, where the chips are down. you've got an inch of separation. You've got to make the throw to within a 6-inch window. And Keelan Way is one of those players that can do that.
So Canada leads 5-2. Czech Republic back on offense.
A little bit of zone here, poaching the lane, and now Canadians are going to transition to one-on-one defense.
Underneath Lucia Shonova.
He's played such a critical role early on here in the Czech Republic. Has been going well.
Shonova swings the disc. Fensel back to Vesely. And up the line, sliding. This is Hadlichova. And wow, the Czech Republic with a little Canadian look, slicing and dicing their way down the field, unimpeded for the goal, 5-3.
They take a lot of pride in cutting hard, and that's what we just saw in that possession. You can't substitute anything for hard work and effort on the field, and that's kind of mandatory when you come here. And just for the Czech Republic to have all the cutters and handlers in synchronization on that possession, you saw what's an example of just what can make this game look so beautiful on offense. They're able to kind of stay with us after a few early mistakes. It's 5-3 Canada, and we're going to take a look here at Lucia Shovanova, who's been incredible thus far. Been involved in every single scoring possession in some way or another, whether it was the getting the goal on the first deep pass or the hockey assist going towards the huck.
Another score for Shonova, and Fensel with the assist. Fensel born in Prague. He played for the Prague Devils and in the Czech Open team 2009, 2014. So Canada back on offense.
This is a moment for the Czech Republic to try to figure out what to do on defense, because nothing's really slowed the Canadians down. And this, so far, already making them throw 3 passes in the backfield is a win.
Big flick Huck. Kwok can't get there, so Czech Republic forcing a turnover.
Bit surprised Kwok didn't lay out for that. Thought it was within arm's reach and certainly could have been bidded for. Kwok's got an interesting story. Somebody who was a lawyer decided to become a cop and then went back to being a lawyer. And I was told by Megan O'Brien, don't worry, she can still mess you up.
I bet she can. Kotasovic lets it fly, angling back, what a bid! The Czech Republic's Tomáš Kláček calls timeout after a sensational layout grab on the brink of the goal line.
There are fast players, and then there's that. The acceleration, I didn't think when the throw went up there was any chance whatsoever that play was going to be made. But the closing speed, as we take a look here.
Brian, how tough of a catch is that with the disc blading back toward you the way it is?
There's no tougher catch in Ultimate to make like this. You have only one point you're going to be able to get the disc. Get your hand on it. He keeps the wrist above. He uses his elbow to stabilize so the wrist doesn't hit the ground and let his hand open up and drop it. What a tough catch to make.
Daring throw from the player coach Petr Kotasovic, who's the president of Czech Republic Ultimate, playing for a very long time. He was invited by a friend back in the winter of 1994, 1995, so more than 20 years in the sport for Kotasovic. Played at Worlds in Sweden in the 90s.
Back when Sweden was a powerhouse, and they won a world championship during that time.
Still a strong club. In the next round today, Brian, you and Tom will have the call of Sweden, Switzerland men.
Hey, step back.
I'll be on the adjacent field, field number 2 for Great Britain and Colombia men, as Power Pool Tuesday has begun here in London.
Big debate on which game to actually put on that, because Great Britain, Colombia has some exciting storylines. Great Britain, of course, looking to kind of get over the hump and maybe be one of the teams that's a title contender. In Colombia, the new face on the scene of wondering just how good they really are.
Great Britain has the home pitch advantage. So out of the timeout, let's see what the Czech Republic has. A dump, a shot up the line. Kotasovic will make the decision. It's a gutsy one, and it did not pay off.
That's a tough decision to make on the goal line, and that's one of the most dangerous decisions you can make in ultimate. It's tough because you don't have the perspective to see where all the defenders are, and it's really hard to place the disc in the back corner. Everybody seems to think they can do it because there was one time when the guy was wide open and there was no defense, and that's a time there where a dump swing might have worked out better for the Czech Republic.
Justin Norden, former Carlton star, initiates the offense. Kwok. Good defense from the Czech Republic, preventing that upline shot to Norden. That was Yuri Vosacek. So underneath, Keelan Way launches to Kwok, right on the money. Bursting up the line, Mike Aizawa, and it's in and out of his grasp. Was there contact? No. Incomplete on a drop from Aizawa.
Almost a pretty possession there for Canada, and Keelan Way, we've already talked about it, but that pinpoint back shoulder throw, Kwok did not have to move for it.
She was wide open. Klacek, Kotasovic. Underneath, Andre Riedlo. He's the youngest member of this team that, as Brian said, is full of veterans. Riedlo, 22, by far the youngest.
I love that throw right there, great spacing.
Good bid from Team Canada, but the Czech Republic with Kvapilova flips it to the end zone. Kvapilova to Matakova. And the Czech Republic all of a sudden has broken the Canadians to get within one.
Very impressive from the Czech Republic, and I think a lot of people come on and they want to watch highlight reel skies. They want to watch the grab. We just saw a couple of plays earlier, but great offense comes from great spacing. And it wasn't the goal throw, but it was the setup here that got it going here from the break side, and this inside break, wide open, great advantage for the offense, perfect timing, and another one gets to the goal line, easy score after that. That's beautiful offense for the Czech Republic.
That makes it 5-4. A goal from Klara Matekova was on the mixed Czech Republic team that played in Dubai at Beach Worlds a year ago in March. Some of the familiarity between Canada and the Czech Republic is a result of meeting on Jumeirah Beach in Dubai. What a spectacle that was.
Talking to Coach Megan O'Brien, they said that we know them a little bit from Beach Worlds. We know that they're tall. Well, there's not much you can prepare for tall teams in that way. Maybe throw a little bit of zone and some poachy looks, but it's going to be a challenge for them on the matchup side.
Height is probably a little more important on the beach than it is on the grass because you can't move and jump quite as high. That's arguable, though. Jordan Marin with a drop for Canada, and Czech Republic looking to tie it.
After a slow start, they've gotten a couple of turnovers, and they're right in this game.
You know, early in this game, it was the Czech Republic making their own mistakes, and you can say the same thing there. Canadian defensive pressure has been steady, but not overbearing.
Jordan Marin getting the poach block. Great job to peel off the stack, knowing where the throw is coming. And that's the problem with a vert stack and the rule of thirds. What you try to avoid is throwing it in that same vertical lane because there's defenders that can come into play. And you saw a smart defensive block that's going to give this back for the Canadians.
Was he in bounds? Norden was called out by the trailing Czech player. The game advisors will opine.
You landed on the line. You're out.
And Wally Kwong, the game advisor, tells Jeremy Norden he landed on the line. Now, if Norden vehemently disagreed, they could have sent it back, but good spirit from Norden, trusting the game advisor with a perspective. The advisor's opinion certainly not binding, but most players have indeed heeded the wisdom of the yellow shirts.
Especially in the line, it's just so tough for anybody else to have a better perspective than the line game advisor.
5 yards away. Boschka swings it around. Riedlo. Oh, he had a teammate to the left side cone, did not see her. The mark may have impeded that first throw.
Bad switch, leaving Cutter undefended.
Throw to space, that will work. The Czech Republic on a 4-1 run to tie things up here in the power pool.
Like we said earlier, you go down against the #1 seed, you can feel the mental pressure maybe mounting and the nervousness, but the Czech Republic stayed with their game plan. They went ahead with the hucking game, the high-powered plays, and it's been successful for them. And after that, calming the nerves, a couple of Canadian mistakes as we take a look here. Norden out on the line, and then from there, a little bit of a bad switch, frees up some players, and this is what happens when you switch badly. Switching can be a good thing, but leaves the eventual goal to look like a wide open pass, and you're wondering, where was the defense? Well, they tried to take away something that was going to leave them in dire straits, and sometimes it just doesn't work out.
Team Canada came out on fire and probably had the mindset that this is going to be an easy one. You wake up for the early morning game, this one beginning at 9:30 a.m. local time here in London. Canada starts out with back-to-back breaks and led 2-0 3.5 minutes after the opening pull. And it's natural to sort of not necessarily check out, but to become a little more relaxed and lose some of that intensity that perhaps you started with.
It's a common problem when it's tough as a coach. You want being a good mental coach is finding those moments when you feel the lull coming on. And that's when it's important to be.
Norden's throw, incomplete, intended for Kwok. Czech Republic could get back on serve here. Still down a break, but they've tied it 5-5. And a pick called downfield.
And this might be an analogy or a segue that Canadians will like. Legendary coach Scotty Bowman in the NHL used to talk about, they used to tell that in games when the Red Wings were down, the coach would relax a little bit and let the players play, but when they were up, he was on them and pressuring them just to keep the energy up, and that's sometimes when you need it most. You know, they say maybe the most dangerous lead in hockey is a 2-goal lead. Here, they had the 2-goal lead at the start of the game, and now the Czech Republic can go right back in it and take control.
Is that your coaching philosophy as well?
It's important to sense that lull. It's when you see those moments when it's in the timeout is keep the pressure on, don't let them get back in this game. We have to play up to our standard, and for the Canadians, that's a pretty high standard.
The disc in the hands of Petr Kotasovic. Originally from Prague.
More stoppages here. It's hard to flip the switch as well when you take your foot off the gas pedal. I'm not saying that's what happened here with the Canadians.
Oh, nice leaping grab by Boschka.
It's certainly a challenge, though, if that was the case.
That disc still up. Impressive plays from the Czech Republic. Kvapilova kept it alive, and then Kotasovic endures the bump, hammers to the end zone. What a catch! That's 4 straight for the Czech Republic. They lead 6-5.
And the Canadians are looking around wondering what to do at this point. That they certainly didn't expect to be in this position whatsoever going into the game. To be down 6-5, excuse me. I believe it is 6-5 as we take a look here. And the timeout, and this is for the Canadians to kind of get back in this game as we take a look at the replay. That disc did look up. Just a few mistakes by the Canadians here. They just haven't been syncing offense, and then Czech Republic have made plays like this repeatedly.
Impressive playmaking from the Czech Republic. That was not an easy catch with Norden nearby, but Klacik with the score, and I'm not sure if we have Tom Stiles down on the field with a thought or two to share. Tom.
Yeah, hold the ups.
TC on 3. 1, 2, 3!
TC! Let's go, TC.
I don't think we have Tom right now. We'll try again in a bit. I'm sure it was a brilliant insight that he had to share, so it's our loss. Tomas Klacek with that last score. Won a silver medal at the European Club Championships in 2015 in the mixed division. Do we have Tom? Tom, you with us?
Hello. Oh yeah. So just impressed by how relaxed the Canadians were down here. Megan O'Brien, no hint of panic there. She just called a timeout. That even though the Canadians have been scored on quite freely by the Czechs in the last couple of points, still quite relaxed down here on the sideline.
Thank you, Tom. We'll certainly be looking for that. 6-5 Czech Republic. How big of an upset, Brian, would this be if Canada lost this game?
I would have thought of possible other upsets in other divisions, but I wouldn't have thought of this. I think this would be monumental and probably our first big one of the tournament. I went to Japan Worlds in 2012. Czech Republic didn't even send a team, and part of that's due to travel reasons. A lot of players couldn't afford getting out, and it's also state exam week here right now in the Czech Republic, so even some players couldn't make it here, even though it's more of a local tournament. So to come out and to upset the #1 seed, it's amazing, and I've talked to a number of other coaches around here. The athleticism, the improvement over just 4 years from these European, from these Asian teams, from the South American teams, it's absolutely stunning. There's just no way you would have thought that this game would have been 6-5 at the moment.
Especially after Canada led 5-2, 4-1 before that. So we're on serve here in the first half. Justin Norden distributes to Antoine Lapagnon. Takes the big backhand, resets to Norden. Currently plays in the AUDL with the San Jose Spiders. Won a championship last year at the pro level. Shooting it long and mistimed on the jump. Leduc looked like he had it sized up, but just misplaced the hand. But perhaps a call downfield.
May have been a foul call. There's some discussion going on, a contested foul. This looks like it's going to go back just based on the hand signals in the field. But we talked about Keelan Way, and this is the opposite side, and kind of the unfortunate when you have a shooter like this. Way is normally just so good, and he lays the disc out there pretty perfectly, but there's a little bit of a breeze. You only have one spot where you can catch that disc. You can't safely run out to it, watch it come in, and have different points when you can attack it. There was a defender near the area, had to make an aggressive catch. Thankfully, it's going back for the Canadians.
Norden gives it to Anne-Marie Carey. Jammed it back to Norden. Here's Leduc. And a turnover.
A drop, just lack of concentration here by the Canadians.
Team Canada only had 1 turnover in the first 8 points of the half. 6 turnovers in the last 4 points, including this one.
I think in these moments when the offense isn't working great.
A lot of space on that break side of the field. The hammer hung for a while, but still caught by Achim. And he'll take a timeout. And they're debating what the stall's going to be, I believe, when play resumes. Or was there no call? Perhaps just a stoppage, and the Czech Republic will reinitiate play.
They may not have had a timeout left. I'm sure we'll have to try to get the game advisor perspective at some point.
Yeah, they were out of timeouts there.
No timeouts. They don't need one. 7-5 for the Czech Republic. Vosocek with another assist. And the goal from Michaela Mashkova. Holy cow.
Czech Republic with a 2-point lead, and as you talked about, setting up the end zone possession was a hammer out to space, and that can be so difficult. You play hard defense on the force side, you're able to shut down all of the cuts, and then the break side has all this plethora of space to attack to. The hammer's a great throw to do that, and really the solution, it's force backhand. The hammer, when it's a flick force, you're able to go ahead and put that out to space. The hammer doesn't fly the right way. And here, as we're taking a look at the play, here's the hammer going out to space. The defender makes a play on it. It's Duke coming into the picture, but it doesn't matter at this point. The receiver has the positioning.
Pretty good fundamental ultimate from the Czech Republic, swinging the disc from side to side, having good cuts from the center, and using space fairly well during this 5-0 run.
Yeah, I want to go back to the timeout situation there. The timeout rule being different here in WIFTF than it was for USAU, and that when you call a timeout and you don't have one, you actually just see it increase the stall count. And that way, that's why there was actually 2 seconds coming in on the stall. They got the 2-second penalty, went back to play.
Not nearly as drastic of a punishment as calling a timeout you don't have in a USAU game. That results in a turnover.
Yeah, there's no Chris Webber situation here.
Canada, can they refine their mojo? Great bidding grab, but was she in bounds? Czech Republic says no. It was Julie Mowens, and she will accept the call, which I think was the correct one from seeing it live.
Trying to drag the foot, and it looked like the foot was likely on the line from the live shot. As we get back into play, there's going to be an injury substitution here.
We'll get a quick look as they sub in. The throw put up there by Cabot. I don't think she has it until the foot is on the line. It was a great attempt.
You don't often see that, the top of the foot being the first point that touches the line.
Oh, but a first throw drop from the Czech Republic. Norden used the lefty fake to create a little bit of space and finds Crystal Koo for the goal. That squelches the 5-0 run. Great shot by our camera crew on that bidding attempt by Mowens up the line. And for Canada, a hugely important score. Otherwise, it would have been a 6-0 run for Czech Republic to take half, and no one saw that coming.
And we have our camera crew out here in the boiling sun today. We're only out here just for one game, and we'll get to take a little bit of a break, but they get to go up there and do the hard, dirty work throughout the tournament. Great shots here, and this is why we love being with an Ultimate crew. You get to see the wide angle, you get to see all the players, just like all the Ultimate players want to see, and hopefully we have some new players come in. One player on the screen here, John Snow, one of the additions for Canada. He's been a player that can be an
get on the line.
Game
Get on the line.
changer.
From Halifax, Nova Scotia. Started playing Ultimate back in his university days in 2007. And Joel Bellavance was one of his Frisbee buddies that first year. Now a teammate on the Canadian mixed team.
Initiating with some handler movements, going to create some space to attack. They're leaving a lot of the middle of the field open off of the pull play.
Shooting it deep, Fensel looking long. Perfect shot and a bidding catch from Novak to take half for the Czech Republic.
When you teach people to throw hucks, you want it coming from well-timed cutter positions, usually off of a cut, off an up line. There was no timing there, but it didn't matter whatsoever.
He threw him open.
He threw him open, exactly, Evan. We take a look here. This throw goes up, and I'm not sure the receiver even knew it was coming until it went there, but this is what Novak's so deep that doesn't matter. That's a laser beam disc. Great play by Novak, and a little bit of cojones there, putting that out there to take half. And this Czech Republic team has shown that they don't care who you are. They're going to stick to the game plan.
Their goals coming in were to stay positive and stay with our system. They were broken twice in about 2 minutes at the outset. Trailed 2-0 on back-to-back breaks, but since that time, 8-4 to the Czech Republic. They lead Canada 8-6 at the half. We'll be back in about 5 minutes with coverage of second half action here from London as the 2016 World Ultimate and Guts Championship continues.
Na vlně. Jo, nevytuhnout za těch 7 minut. Jo, nastoupíme úplně stejně, máme obranu z dola. Pojďte jenom na hru.
Pojďme být 20 lidí ve hře a myslet jenom na hru. Všichni se bavit jenom o hře, radit si ve hře. Si nic jiného nechceme teď.
Když je bráníme, teď už nás hodně brání jakoby i k disku prostě, aby jsme posílali tu první přidávku. Nebojíme se o hru dlouhou. Teď tam jsou lidi i chlapy volný na dlouhý, že mají třeba 3 metry, pojďte se nebát, tam prostě prsknout. Jo? A jinak, hele, když hrajeme tu běhačku, hodíme, vole, swing, tam, tak hrajeme dobře. Když to držíme na lajně a čekáme do 5, co se udělá, hrajeme hrozně dobře, protože prostě
Well, certainly a surprising turn of events here in the first half of the opening game of the day in the mixed division. The Czech Republic, after trailing 2-0 and 4-1, scores on 7 of the final 9 points of the half to take an 8-6 lead. Canada will receive to begin half number 2. Welcome back to our live free streaming coverage of the World Ultimate and Guts Championships, brought to you by VC Ultimate, Eric, USA Ultimate, and the World Flying Disc Federation. Alongside our spectacular crew here in London, Evan Lepler with Brian Jones. And Team Canada needs to make at least 1 or 2 adjustments to change things around. What do you think they talked about at the half?
I think for them, it's a lot about unforced errors. And if you're a Canadian team and you're in this place, it's a lot of calming each other down. We're okay, but at the same time, there's no time to waste. We have to get back in this game. We have to bring the intensity and the focus. And it's a lot of things that are talked about usually in this. Focus on your defense. Your offense will come. You know how to play offense. Maybe there's an adjustment there you can make and focus on. But just bring the intensity, because the 5-0 run happens because of turnovers, but it also happens because the offense hasn't been able to stop them on the turn.
When you are the head coach of a #1 seed in a tournament and you're trailing in a pool play game, yes, it's a power pool, but it's still a pool play. You can win the tournament if you lose this game. How desperate do you tighten lines here in the second half to go all out to win this game, or do you keep running your system? I guess it's a case-by-case basis.
I think here, with enough time remaining in a game to 15, you've got a few points to keep playing your lines and see what happens. And at some point, if you're still down, you're going to need to tighten up, because you don't want that loss there. You want to see how your best players deal with the pressure pack situations. It would require a ton of confidence to play everybody here and not care what the result was.
Brendan Wong with the disc. Pressure defense and a layout D for Andre Riedlo. He looked up almost expecting a foul to be called, but Keelan Way said play on.
Keelan Way is actually a very physical player himself. I'm not surprised they got the play on.
And a little contact on the ensuing throw. No call the other way. Well played, both sides.
Good switch by the Czech Republic. Not allowing too many yards on the open undercut by Wong.
Norden looking for Way. Got him! Just shy of the goal line. Way threads the needle. Mike Aizawa with the score. Canadian hold to begin the second half. And let's go down to Tom Stiles. Were you in on any of the halftime conversations, Tom?
Half-time there. Sorry, I was just listening into the Canada half-time there, Evan. Interestingly, that no change of tactics, no talk about tactics at all. They're all talking about energy levels on the sideline and energy levels on the pitch as well. So that's the thing that the Canada team are going to be working on. But we're already seeing them just get that layout, the Czech Republic getting that layout block. So they might need to up their energy levels further yet.
Tom, thank you. Well, you talked about Mr. Keffer right off the top, Brian, but he's had a fairly quiet half so far defensively for Team Canada.
Just incredible, though, as a 19-year-old to be here. He has been quiet, but he plays with an intensity that's a little bit different coming from a rugby background. And he said, you know, I have 8 months a year of training for rugby, as Czech Republic's looking deep.
Little miscommunication, but the throw is hanging. And the defense made by Alexa Kovacs, who ran it down and slapped it down.
Chance for Canada to bring it back on serve. And yet Keffer, he said, summertime's for Ultimate. He's going to try to play as much as he can in the leagues and stay with it, because it's a fantastic opportunity to come here and compete with the best in the world. And he's able to do that in 2 sports.
There's Keffer. John Snow resets it to Jeremy Norden. Big flick. Just over the outstretched reach of the defender, and then off the fingertips of Cam Burden. Fensel's pressure might have impacted Burden's ability to make that one-handed grab.
Norden with an interesting decision, to say the least. He's one of the more prominent throwers in Ultimate, and he has the ability to throw people open, but Burton was already so deep, and that's a 50-yard throw on a rope. Not sure what he was looking at, and that's why we saw the pass not work out.
Great handler reset. This deep shot looking for Novak. He bids alongside John Snow as the disc lands incomplete.
John Snow pretty much dwarfing any matchup he's going to have on the field. And that's how the Phoenix from Ottawa were able to take down the Buzz Bullets. Throw it up to John Snow and see what happens. And that's kind of been the formula to beat some of the smaller Japanese teams, especially in a windy situation.
Team Canada working it from its own end zone. Norden to Keffer. Norden up the line to Marin. Jordan Marin to Kovacs. Keffer. Oh, and a tremendous D on the under David Novak. And he's shaken up as a result. That is such a tough play to make because Keffer set up that cut well, faking it deep. And I thought he had the space under until Novak exploded into the lane.
Keffer unable to seal out. Novak finding the lane. That's a tough play to make. And all is going to be for naught because of a pick call in the WIFDIF rules. As the pick happens before the throw, it's deemed to have affected the play. So the disc will go back.
Even if it was way behind the play.
Even if it was way behind the play. And that's the difference here between the USAU rules, which has to be throw or activated. That would have stand.
Well, this doesn't lie. The pick call that had no involvement in the play does not prevent the Czech team from getting the disc. Although it really did. It was another poor decision from Team Canada that gave it away, as they could not capitalize on the rule benefit. That was one of the great Ds I've seen this weekend, this week so far from Novak. The layout simultaneously elevating toward the disc. Very impressive. Some good pace on these underneath throws, not giving the Canadians a chance to make a play on something floaty. See, they're practicing the authoritative toss.
And that's really important, especially with even with a little bit of wind. Throws to space are great, and they require a high degree of skill and difficulty, but when their person's wide open, hit them in the chest and between the waist and the chest, and that's the pinpoint right there. Czech Republic doing a great job on the fundamentals.
Another nice toss to Klotzik. Up the line with a little more touch. Bereshnova back to Vesely. Read the poach well, reset. Fensel, and a stoppage. Interesting there, Vesely had an open man coming to the front cone, but a well-timed poach from Jordan Marin of Team Canada. She sort of lingered in that lane to prevent the opening.
Smart defense and help defense are so critical. It's hard to play one-on-one and just play hard matchups. The offense has the advantage in terms of angles.
Andre Novak. That's a break and a score. Tomas Klotzik picks up another assist. 9-7 for the Czechs.
Based on some of the body language we're seeing here from the Canadians, I'm wondering if the expectations here are starting to build some pressure, because they expect to be up in this game. And it's a difference between confidence and having expectations. But going back kind of the rules, it would be, we'll see if we can go down here in the field to Walter Kwong and get a little bit of analysis on that call on that D. Was that in fact a pick call, and as a result, coming back?
Yeah, so like you said earlier, pick calls before the throw do stop play, unlike US rules.
Thanks, Wally. Wally coming from the US. He's gotten to seen him a long way, a prominent observer there. Always does the games here in the Metro East.
And he doesn't take any of your lip, which I like too, when you're coaching and he's observing. He is a stern but fair observer.
I think he's used to dealing with a lot worse. But yeah, we'll give him credit for that.
Last point included 4 turnovers. The most in the game as Keelan Way makes the grab, but comes up shaken up. That left arm landed hard, and his wrist perhaps taking the brunt of the impact.
And I know we don't ever want to speculate. I don't like the way he's holding that arm, and he's pointing to the shoulder. That's a hard one here. Spectacular grab, and just this is what's tough when you lay out form, and it's so important to get the form right because you want to land on your chest, and even though that sometimes knocks the wind out of you, and this is why you're trying to avoid the injury, and you can just see the arm kind of go a little bit the wrong way. And we hope that Way is okay because he's been such a focal point of this offense, especially with Canada at the moment. They're going to keep the disc, but they're still down in this game by 2.
Norden will sub in for Way, who did not immediately go seeking a trainer, which is a good sign. On the sidelines, trying to shake it off. Norden gets a reset to his brother, Jeremy to Justin.
Even with Ultimate being a non-contact sport, I think with Keelan Way, there's just no way you can question his toughness. He's going to be out there if he can be.
Block back to Norden. Justin to Jeremy. To the end zone, Leduc.
Threat of Jeremy Norden as a thrower just moves marks before the play even begins. Norden receives the pass and worried about the inside. There's going to be a little bit of a shift. And it's going to leave Norden wide open to deliver the final backhand pass.
Jeremy Norden has made a life coaching Ultimate. He now works as the National Clinic Director for Eric. Early recognition is critical, one of the sponsors of our live streaming coverage here at the World Championships. Norden, of course, Seattle born, played for USA Juniors in 2006, 2008, but has dual citizenship, played for Canada for the first time at U23s in 2010. And we have seen several players compete for different countries over the course of their careers. I was chatting with one fellow yesterday who has already played for 2 countries, and he's getting ready to play for a 3rd as he's about to move to South Africa for a teaching job next summer. Leaping grab on the deep shot to David Novak, just shy of the end zone, gets a reset. The Czech Republic offense, which just looked so flustered early in the game, has responded and sustains its lead at 10-8.
Flustered at the beginning was right, but they stuck with the game plan, and you have to give them a lot of credit mentally to be able to do that. It's tough. It's easy to fall apart when you're facing a top team like Canada. The first couple throws don't work out, so you come back and you say, no, we have to just keep things real conservative. And that's almost the worst thing in the world you can do as a coach. And it's something I think commonly, I've made that mistake early in my career, and other coaches have, is, we just need to go for the 100% play. The reality of it, there is no 100% play. There is the best play and the one that fits to your strengths that you need to go with.
So this is the first game of Power Pool competition. Power Pool J with Canada, the Czech Republic, the Philippines, and New Zealand. Philippines going 3-0 in Pool G, beating Colombia, Israel, and Ireland. The New Zealand mixed team going 2-1 with wins over Portugal and Finland, losing to Australia. Currently the Australian mixed team is leading Colombia 10-3 on the field adjacent to us. The tournament format certainly has confused even some of the more brilliant Ultimate scholars. And what a shot there. Leduc on the receiving end of a gorgeous flick huck.
Patient offense doesn't mean that you're trying to not huck the disc. Patient offense just means you're looking for the right opportunity, and that's a great shot. Space to be able to do it, put it to the back of the end zone. The only way it's going to be caught is by the offense. Leduc comes down with it. Great shot from the other side of the field, and good offense by just moving it and changing the angle. We've talked about this throughout the tournament. Change the angle of attack. Get it to different areas on the field.
So you said that Jeremy Norden is one of the great throwers in the world. Is he better than his brother Justin? Because Justin's throw there looked pretty special.
You have to give Justin some dap there, but I think if you asked even Justin, he might say Jeremy has some bigger, more flashier throws, but I bet that Justin secretly thinks that he's the more reliable one.
Brotherly rivalry.
Yeah, I'm just trying to start some stuff in there, get everybody a little angry at each other. But I think
it's early in the week.
They're okay with each other. They may know each other pretty well. Played in a couple of international teams, had some success. Of course, at college U.S. Nationals, Jeremy bringing an unestablished program, beating some huge teams, and Justin, playing for the perennial powerhouse, Carleton, winning a national championship.
Czech Republic has been very solid offensively. Contact there. Do the D come first? The collision between Czech Republic's Tomáš Veselý and Joel Bellavance of Canada.
Was some contact there, and one of the important things to remember here, especially for any American or North American viewers, is that contact is deemed to have affected the play, and that's usually to the level that we saw there, Bellavance coming in. That's not going to be a foul likely in any U.S. officiated or observed.
And why is that? Why is it not a foul in USC? Because he got the disc first?
Got the disc first, incidental contact. That wouldn't be to the level of dangerous play considering the U.S. Here in WIFDF rules, we'll get the chance in between points to talk on Walter Kwong's perspective. But here, we're going to let them rule on it.
Saying I caught the disc. I touched this before. It looked like you both moved towards the same spot. You both bumped into each other. That's wolfed off for an offset. Both players moved towards the same point simultaneously. Not
Well, we're trying to go down there on the field, but we'll see them work it out.
It's going to go back.
It was a great peel off by Bellavance, but I'm not surprised here of the contested nature of the call and going back. Love the heads-up play.
So the contested foul is not exactly justice for either side. Certainly an advantage for the Czech Republic in that they will keep possession. The line to David Novak, pressured by John Snow. And a turf disc there, just a mistake on the release from Tomáš Veselý.
Great switch, though, by Bellavance to put the pressure on immediately. And I think Bellavance came in at a really low angle, almost falling to the ground, and that made Veselý hesitate for a moment.
Sending it long, well read by Snow. And Canada has tied it up at 10. Or have they?
Will be a foul call in the play, and from my vantage point, that looks like a good box out. There is physical contact, and it's just to the level here. Rules usually favor the offense. We'll see if we can get down on the sideline and take a listen in.
No. I didn't. I had position here, and you pushed me away.
Let's take a look here at the replay first. Snow boxing out. And dishes for the goal, but it's going to come back regardless, at least to Snow after the foul call.
Maybe 1.5 meters. I was in the...
So that's my read, is that you played it to this side, throw comes back this way, this is my position, I'm holding my position. So what can you do?
I'm saying that you didn't hold the position, you pushed me away.
From where I was looking, it looked like you were both running at the same place. He was holding his position and you were both moving towards each other, trying to maintain that same position. He wasn't pushing you from what I could see.
That's what they saw. You know, we can't see it. So.
Okay.
So, cool.
No foul is ruled, so it's going to be a play on.
And the goal will be scored to tie it 10-all. So we've got a virtual game to 5. Not sure if we can go down to the head game advisor, Wally Kwong, to get his perspective on the play and how that was decided.
So I was not involved on that play, but it looks like from Ruben's ruling there that both players were vying for unoccupied space there, so that would make it not a foul.
Thanks, Wally.
He has a future in this broadcasting thing.
Don't give him too many compliments. He's made a couple of mistakes in my games. Although, as he told me that
Mistakes are in the eye of the beholder.
Yeah, he told me last night over a couple of beers that I was the one in the wrong, so.
I'm sure you were.
Thanks, Brian.
So 10-all, game to 5. Czech Republic receiving. Game will not determine a world champion, but certainly will impact seeding going forward and will impact the confidence of both of these teams. Remember, if you joined us late, this Czech Republic team is missing a few of its key players, including Jan Vavrushva, who's got a knee injury, Petr Herring, the Spirit captain, out with an ankle injury.
Despite those couple of injuries, they've been playing with incredible confidence and have expected big plays.
Some of the best defensive pressure that we've seen in a while from Team Canada.
Now we're getting late into this game. Tied at 10-10.
Up the line, will it float? It's deflected and defended by Kovacs, who's had a really nice game.
Been all over the scoreboard. First to start things off with several goals and now getting a block in a critical 10-10 game.
Jeremy Norden will pick it up. Keffer going long. Norden lets it fly. Keffer runs and falls up short.
And we talked about which brother has the better throws, and maybe we'll have to give Justin there on the better decision as Czech Republic's going to take a timeout. Norden, though, going for the more audacious throw. Full field flick.
So a timeout called by the Czech Republic. They've got the full 70 yards to go. Coverage here at the World Championships in London continues throughout the week, leading up to championship coverage. Masters championship games on Friday and the mixed men's and women's games on Saturday. I think we have Tom Stiles down in the field. Tom?
Yeah, I just wanted to reflect the situation on the pitch, give a bit of perspective. I mean, for Canada, if they lose this game, that would be, you know, a sting. They're seeing this as a game that they ought to win. For the Czech Republic, this is of a national importance. This is a historic game for them. If they can take the Canadian scalp in this, that will be a game that's talked about in the Czech Republic for years and years to come. So huge game for Czech Republic. That's going to pump them up into this last 5 points.
Thank you, Tom. Certainly could be a program-changing victory to beat a country like Canada, stage like this, something that Czech Republic Ultimate could look back on for generations to come. And I don't think that's overstating how impactful a win this could be. There's still a lot of work to be done.
The stories will carry on. I know that there are many war stories about the one game where you had a team that was able to beat others, and especially in big moments, big upsets. And that's the story of the small program, the underdog. And that's why it makes watching the sport so great.
Czech Republic with the disc, out of the timeout. Canada led 2-0 on back-to-back breaks, and 5 straight goals from the Czech Republic team after they trailed 5-2, led 7-5, and they took half 8-6. They led 10-8, but Canada with a hold and a break to even things up here. Looking to get it off the line, they do. Anna Huck, a couple steps for Novak. He's there! Novak gets the dap from his opponent, and the Czech Republic leads by 1.
Novak is proving that he's a physical force to deal with in this tournament. You don't see players continue to rise to the occasion like this all of the time, but when they do, it's incredibly exciting. Nobody really knew, I think, who David Novak was coming in this tournament, at least from the facets of one of the best players in the world. And here in the mixed division, you see why the Czech Republic has placed so much faith in him. This goes up, and you expect him to come down with a 50-50 disc. And they call it 50-50 because it's supposed to be 50% with David Novak. It feels like 100% right now.
Novak has said before that if circumstances allowed, he would enjoy trying out for the AUDL. This is a pretty good audition tape right here.
I think I know a number of teams that would like to take him. As a former AUDL coach myself, be welcome in my squad anytime.
Novak said before the tournament, he said, quote, "I love to go deep, and I look up to Bo Kittredge because he's the best deep cutter in the world. That's why David Novak wears number 50.
Number 50 going up for 50-50 discs and coming down with all of them.
Brendan Wong for Team Canada. Back to Justin Norden. Kwok. You can feel the pressure of Andre Riedlo. I think, Brian, the biggest surprise of this game has been the overall athleticism from this Czech Republic team. It's not that they've just matched up with Canada. They have in moments looked like just slightly the more athletic club on the big 50-50 plays.
Yeah, I don't know what's in the water in the Czech Republic because I haven't been there yet. I heard the beaches are beautiful, but they're producing a lot of these tall, great athletes that Canada can't match up with.
Here's Kwok. She has been critical to the Canadian offense. Wong did not have an angle for the crossfield handler to Norden. Up the line. Carey. To the end zone, low throw, dug out. A catch for Leduc to tie things up. Not an easy catch right there, but Leduc able to get his hands underneath that spinning disc.
Leduc makes a great play in traffic. It's a hard catch to make, and there's a lot of trust being placed there. As Carey decides to put it up space instead of looking for the dump. And I guess that's maybe the wrong word to say space there, as there wasn't much of it. So take a look here, Leduc.
It only takes a little bit of space, Brian. So 11 all. It's a game to 15. If it's tied at 14, it's still just a game to 15. And the cap rules, after 100 minutes, you would add one, but with about 29 minutes until the cap, I do not envision that being a factor with just the pristine conditions. It's pretty incredible how well this showcase field has stayed beautiful despite the wet conditions yesterday. And a very slight breeze, but a really gorgeous day for Ultimate here in the UK.
These are the training pitches for the Watford FC. And there's a reason why we get to see the most beautiful lawns I think I've ever seen for an Ultimate game. And of course, we're getting a nice test here in all our British English from the fellow co-commentators, Tom Stiles and David Price.
They do have nice lawns in the UK. Of course, Wimbledon beginning later this week. Some members of our crew I know are hanging around to check that out.
I'm excited to go do that.
Oh, how did that happen? Two Canadians just let the D go right by, and the Czech Republic capitalizes. That was outrageous. I'm not sure I've ever seen anything quite like that.
Two players in perfect position. And that's one of those where I thought you were going to get it. Oh, well, I thought you were going to get it. And the disc just flies by, and after that, it's just a matter of playing catch. We take a look here. Pass comes through two Poji defenders, goes off the hands of Kovacs, who's played such a great game. In a tight one like that, that's unbelievable in that you can't let that happen. As a coach, you're going to be cringing on the sideline going, we should have had the block, and we had a chance to go up or at least tie this game.
Some swirling thoughts of disgust amongst the Canadians after a critical mistake. Still a one-goal game. The Czech Republic leads. Vesely hitting Andre Novak for the score.
If the Canadians do lose this game, they'll get to literally mean we let this one slip through our fingers.
Clock on the initiation cut. Back to Wong. He had Mullen streaking deep. Plays it back to Justin Norden.
Great shake and bake move by Norden. Just a little bit of a shimmy. Gets the defender out of position. Gets the open reset.
A good matchup between Leduc and Riedlo from wire to wire in this game. Looking to the end zone. Wong will haul it in. A great shot from Anne-Marie Carey. That was beautiful to tie it up again.
It's a same third huck, and it's a guideline, not a rule. We've talked about it throughout many broadcasts. It's hard to hit a pass when the receiver is directly vertical from the thrower downfield. But there, Brendan Wong had enough space, the throw could be made, and Carey puts it out right to where it needs to go down the sideline. We take a look, gets the flip from Norden, and then puts the right amount of angle on the disc. We call that edge. That's going to come down right into Wong's hands, and they have the room to do this. Wong with multiple steps. This is a throw that can arise because the defender doesn't know it's coming. The defender doesn't think it's coming, so they relax a little bit, saying you're going into a deep space where the throw shouldn't be going, and sometimes
get on
that's
the line,
why
please.
it works.
Get on the line, please.
So 11 all becomes 12 all. Still 25 plus minutes before a soft cap. And the Czech offense back on the field. Andre Novak tracks down the pull. David Novak out there. Lucia Shonova, Frankie Fensel. There's Fensel. He had Burishova going, but he reset to Vesely.
Czech Republic trying to keep the disc on the same side of the field. Here they finally switch the angle of attack, which is so important to get the defense out of position.
Andre Novak. Good mark by Norden, leads to a turnover. Jeremy Norden would not give up an inch. Joel Bellavance unleashes. Alexa Kovacs catches it for the score. The bidding Fensel was oh so close, but he could not get there. And that's a break for Canada, 13-12.
The story of the game may be Kovacs and the amount of goals and impact that she's had so far, but when you go back, it's a team effort on defense to get the turnover that's going to lead to the score. Jeremy Norden's going to switch the mark a little bit. The Czech Republic had time to make a throw to space, but decided to go against it. We see right here that Jeremy Norden's mark is just bouncing all around, taking away different angles, matching the Czech Republic's mark, and then Bellavance comes back, hits the strike. Kovacs in stride, even though the defender was there for the Republic.
You can have an active mark for 25 points in a row, and it might not lead to a turnover, but the 26 point, when that mark just provides that extra smidge of pressure. I know as a coach, you love that sort of resiliency and persistence at doing the little things right.
It's an area where players can feel like they can take a rest, and then after that, you can tell them to work harder, and they don't know necessarily how to do it. It's something that's really hard, involves great athletic stance, moving your feet, moving your hands constantly, and just trying to hustle to take away angles. Really, the goal there is not to get a hand block. We say it's a win if we're able to get our thrower to pivot twice. That's what our players are told. You're going up against throwers like Jeremy Norden. He's going to be able to break you sometime or other, but maybe you can take away the current look that he's trying to give it to.
I think it's a good rule of thumb. You win the mark if you can get him to pivot just a couple of times, and it's not just a win for the mark, but also the team defense downfield to prevent that first look from connecting.
And Canada taking the lead for the first time in a long while since we saw them up.
They were up 5-4 in the first half, and then the Czech Republic Part of their 5-0 run from 5-2 to 7-5. This is the first lead for Canada since then.
Originally up 5-2, and it looked like this one was going to get away from the Czech Republic. Canada's kind of reasserted themselves after a couple of great defensive maneuvers.
This has been a fun game from the very start. Czech Republic a little shaky early, but they have shown to be very worthy of this stage.
And their goals coming into this tournament were to get top 10. But maybe that's even a little too low for them after this type of performance.
Their only loss in pool play the first couple of days of the tournament was on Universe Point to France in the steady rain. David Novak lets a rip. Frankie Fensel in the end zone, had it knocked away. Aaron Liu with the D for Canada.
Aaron Liu doesn't necessarily look like a monster defender, but he has been for a very long time. He's able to normally wreak havoc in the backfield, but that's just a great example of a smart defensive play, having positioning. And on the other hand, the throw coming up, Novak was trying to put it deep, and he just kind of chose the wrong shape of the throw to put it on. If it comes out a little bit quicker of a release, Liu doesn't have time to get there. That one hung in the air, giving Liu the time and space to make a play.
Bellavance upfield to Snow. Trying to get it back to Bellavance. A high push pass, somehow that worked. And Canada will take a timeout.
I think Bellavance, out of anger of having to receive that pass, decided he wasn't going to play Frisbee for a little bit and just take a breather. That's something that I throw around to joke with people.
That was as close as we've seen to a no-look scuba this week.
That's like a super dump. I don't think I've ever seen that in a real game.
It's a disc golf shot is what that was, over a tree. So Canada will keep the disc up by 1. Team Canada has played turnover free since it was tied 11-all. Just a very high push pass on the dump to get the reset stall, and a quick timeout from Bellavance. Team Canada up by 1. Again, the other teams in this power pool, the Philippines, that went 3-0 in their pool play, and New Zealand. World Flying Disc Federation's free streaming coverage of the 2016 World Ultimate Championships from London, brought to you by VC Ultimate, proud to be the official merchandise partner of the World Flying Disc Federation. Also by Eric, teaching youth about cancer symptoms through Ultimate Frisbee clinics. And by the members of USA Ultimate and the World Flying Disc Federation. Evan Lepler, Brian Jones, our entire WIFDIF crew with you from the showcase field from the Watford FC training complex in London, a sparkling facility. And today, delightful conditions and a first throw turnover that was caught by a woman sitting in the 5th row of the stands, but a foul was called on the throw.
I was going to say, I don't think Bellavance's goal was to put that one into that space. Foul's call is going to bring it back.
Canada keeps possession. Until now, tremendous handler defense from Tomas Vesely. And a foul on the mark will slow things up.
Normally on handler defense, the goal isn't to get the block. It's only to get the block if the throw is bad, and we saw that. Bellavance makes a really good cut, but it's mistimed a little bit. The thrower, if they're able to get it off early and hit Bellavance on the outside shoulder, they're going to be able to do that. The Czech Republic is going to take a timeout and try to figure out what they're going to do. This has worked out successfully for them. Just a throw that needs to be to the outside shoulder there. But also Bellavance cuts earlier. You see how the thrower is able to face up and try to hit Bellavance in the backfield. The facing up comes too late, and that was mistimed, leading to the turnover. Maybe underselling the block itself, but that's why with resets it's so critical for your dump thrower and the dump to be on the same page.
So the Czech Republic with the disc just a few meters from the goal line, trailing by 1, 13-12. Still a lengthy time away from the soft cap. Don't envision that being a factor. Just the beginning of our day 3 of coverage here from London. Men's action coming up at 11:30 local time, about 35 minutes from now on Showcase Field number 1, Sweden and Switzerland with Tom Stiles and Brian Jones. On Field 2, Great Britain and Colombia with myself and David Price. And later today, USA Women's Masters against Japan Women's Masters. Many of the players who were involved in the 2012 Women's Division World Championship game in Sakai, won by the Japanese. They will square off on the Showcase Field number 1 with Tom Stiles and Megan Molteni on the call. The Czech Republic has made it 13s here in London.
Never would have expected the Czech Republic to be in this game, and normally I'm not a fan of timeouts on the goal line. I think it allows the defense to set up, but the Czech Republic have used them beautifully in this game and used them well to execute when they've needed to.
The 4th goal of the game for Lucia Shonova. Not a bad performance against the number 1 seed in the tournament. And you know, as this round gets later, more and more fans are filing in. There's going to be a pretty good atmosphere here for the closing couple of points.
Shonova and Novaks. We take a look here at the fans.
It's early in the day.
But really, that's the story of the game. Novak, Shonova dominating here, keeping the Czech Republic, keeping them in a position to steal one away from the Canadians. This pole, unfortunately, isn't going to help their cause any.
And Novak has 3 of the goals. David Novak does. Andre Novak has another. Andre Novak with a couple assists, twice hitting his unrelated countryman David Novak for the score. So Justin Norden will initiate play here. Mike Aizawa is his reset handler, and downfield Brendan Wong is at the tail end of the stack to initiate. Jennifer Kwok was the second to last player in the stack, and she'll shoot it long. Mark Leduc, will he be able to keep it in? Defended by Czech's Andrej Boška. Well, Leduc had to worry about the back line along with the disc, and Boška's closing speed creates the turnover.
Kwok almost got too big of a yardage gainer here to make this throw. The set play is get it to Kwok and then send it deep to Leduc. There's not enough room to make this play. Leduc runs out of real estate, and the Czech Republic are going the other way.
This Czech team looking for the lead. This is Shonova, 4 goals already. Back to Klasic. Boška, who had the D, hits a wide open teammate. That was Kvapilova, back to Boška. Up the line, just narrowly evading the bid. Yuri Vosicek. And a foul was called. It was the reset handler, Boška, calling it on Norden before the Czech throw was released.
Guys, come to a resolution.
Falcon test.
Yeah. Hey, what's the count at? Yeah, so you're going to be coming in 6.
What a critical moment this is. 13 all, second half, game to 15. Power pool action between Canada and the Czech Republic in the mixed division.
Czech Republic choosing to not move the disc laterally, and just as I say that, they finally do.
They felt your telekinetic urge. This is Shonova. Oh, there's a poach on the play. Canada recovers defensively for the moment. But the Czech Republic scores, jamming it up the near sideline. 14-13.
They do it the difficult way. They don't change fields that often. They keep going up the line, but the Canadians can't do much about it. And that's just such a tough play. You see the defender have some options to be able to make a layout block, but once you don't get it, it's going to leave a wide open series of throws as we take a look here. The up the line pass. Mankazawa trying to come through and get the block. Instead, it's Czech Republic leading 14-13.
Vosacek to Shonova, her 5th score for the native of Olomouc in the Czech Republic. She was a heptathlete, the Czech vice champion heptathlete. Also played tennis, was a climber, rode horses, played squash, and now helping to lead the Czech Republic mixed team on the verge of one of the biggest upsets of the week so far here in London.
Biggest upset, not only of the week potentially, but of going back years. Like you said, this is something that would be talked about in lore. Like, did you see the game? What happened? People are going to want to know. And we're just lucky enough to be here bringing it to you.
So it's a must-score situation for Team Canada. Norden to Lepagnon. Anne-Marie Carey. Cam Burden. Up the line, Jeremy Norden. Brendan Wong. Contact on the mark. Doesn't appear there'll be a contest from Riedla.
I think he just caught Wong off balance. It looked a little bit worse than it was. And some tough throws by Burton early on in a round throw to Norden. He's able to slide for. That's something that's not in everybody's arsenal of throws.
High throw, Norden makes the grab. Shoots it over the top. Off the hands of Burden. He was there.
Norden was looking to take over the point and open things up. He has that ability to throw people open, and he did. Finding Burden in the end zone. It's hard to make that one-handed grab with your left hand. Sometimes the disc can just spin out and bounce out. Burden's gonna wish he went up a little bit stronger for it.
Looking long, David Novak has to deal with Julie Mowens, and great contact. 2 players landed on Mowens. The disc incomplete. A foul has been called by Novak. But more importantly, Mowens was crushed.
Tough situation. We'll take a look here at the replay. And a call by Novak. I don't think that he has a right to call that foul. There is a bias towards the offense in the rules here, but he is running right into Mowens, and he is initiating contact.
And the foul has been rescinded. Watch that replay and tell me this is a non-contact game, Brian. So Canada with a substitution coming in, replacing Mowens. Anne-Marie Carey, Jordan Marin, Jennifer Kwok are the 3 females. Cam Burden, Brendan Wong, Mark Leduc, and Jeremy Norden completing the Canadian line. They trail 14-13. The top seed heading into the tournament, Team Canada, won its initial 2 pool play games, not in dominating fashion, but in fairly convincing fashion. 15-10 over Austria, 15-5 over Spain. Leduc shakes away from David Novak. Norden on the recovery. Looking for Wong versus Riedlow, and it's Riedlow who tipped it, but Wong who caught it. And we're tied at 14-all on field 1. What a game this has been between Canada and the Czech Republic.
It hasn't been pretty for the Canadians here in the late stages, but whatever works. You set it up for Brendan Wong. He doesn't have any steps on this play. As we take a look, Norden gets it, and he's just bent on throwing this disc deep. It's a Hail Mary pass, something we often see at the end of pro quarters, gets tipped, and Riedlow feels like he's gonna have the game in his hands, and we saw the Canadians earlier with that poach grab, feeling like the game might slip through their fingers, and now Riedlow going back and forth, bounces going both ways. It's gonna come down to a universe point. Game to 15.
Well, this is it. Next score wins. Canada with very much its defensive line, Justin Norden, Joel Bellavance, Aaron Liu, John Snow, the male players, Jordan Marin out there with Crystal Koo, and Alexa Kovacs for Canada. And a mistake. Miscue on the dump from Kvapilova. And Liu drops the initiation cut. Turnover is the call.
There was contact on the play, but Justin Norden saying it did not affect the play. A really spirited move from Norden there to say, and that's something that we would normally see in a lot of North American games.
Very spirited play by Justin Norden, especially at this stage of the game. And there's contact downfield. Novak and Snow grappling for position. I mean, you can understand things getting a little testy, a little physical in these tight moments.
Taking a look here at Bellavance's D. Some contact right there, but not affecting the play. Good call. So we're taking a look downfield, and this is something here that just needs to be resolved quicker. There's no reason. It's a foul downfield. It's going to really be
the difference in stall 3 or stall 0 on the disc. Now we're trying to figure out whether it was before the throw or after the throw. Regardless, it didn't affect the throw. So if we don't know, let's just play on. I'm not sure who the Czech Republic would rather have the disc, whether it's Novak or Kvapilova. Stall count coming in 6. He launches long, and it is caught. David Novak used his body for position. And Canada has called a stall back on the initial play. Czech Republic so close to winning the game. You can hear Joel Bellavance.
You asking from my perspective? Yeah, so he, from what I saw, he got the throw up before the T intent.
Okay. I really thought the T intent was, well, if it was down, it's like...
Okay, I mean, it's up to you guys to take, but what I saw was he got it off before the 10.
Okay.
Yep.
So the throw is coming back.
Yep.
Czech Republic will need a quick reset here.
Down.
As the players try to perform the impossible of replicate the position they were at when it was stall 9.
And it matters there because Novak made a great play to box out John Snow. If you're just with us.
And here's a Hail Mary, Snow versus Novak. And it's the trailer. The Czech Republic, Shonova, was there as it sailed over the head of Novak and Snow. To the end zone, that's it! A gigantic, monumental upset here in London. The Czech Republic has taken down Canada on Universe.
What a win, what a game, and what a performance by two players. Shonova and Novak made spectacular games, spectacular plays all game long. They were vital for it. Here we just see the throw go up. In the possession before, Canada got a little bit of bounce their way. John Snow is there, can't get a finger on it.
But it was Shonova with position on Marin for the second effort.
Way to hold that position, know the disc is coming. Snow forced to make the play without contact, and Shonova gets open in space.
Her 6th score of the game for the Czech Republic mixed team. Lucia Shonova, a difference maker in the game of the tournament thus far.
What an incredible story, down 5-2, come back, go down once again. Canada looked like they were gonna put it away. And we'll sit here, see if we can get some words from Tom Stiles.
Just wanted to reflect there, the Canadians never really raising the energy level. I don't think they ever really contemplated the fact that they might lose that game. But huge points for the Czech Republic. This game will be talked about not just in the Czech Republic, but right across Europe for years to come. Huge game, huge upset. Czech Republic, a fantastic performance from them.
Tom, thanks for the perspective. A great win for the Czech Republic as they take down Canada 15-14. Just a fun game to be a part of. It was our pleasure to have it for you here from the World Flying Disc Federation's WUGC 2016. So we will sign off. Great spirit throughout a physical battle won by the Czech Republic, and we'll see whether Canada can bounce back from this one and how this result ripples through the rest of the tournament. So we will be back in about 20 minutes for men's coverage action. Sweden, Switzerland on field 1, and Great Britain and Colombia on field 2. 2 games that both should be fantastic. But for now, we sign off from London. For Brian Jones, this is Evan Lepler saying goodbye for now. Czech over Canada by 1.
Yeah, this is what? No way. Best game ever.
I know.
Catch it early. Help us teach kids about cancer symptoms through Ultimate Frisbee clinics. Join us and speak up.